Hey there, American citizen. Does thinking about the US government hurt your brain? Does civic engagement sound overwhelming? What does civic even mean, right? It's okay. I get you. I'm just as confused as you are. But don't worry, that's where Civic Education 101 can help. Hi friends, Pauline back here with episode 2 of Civic Education 101. I just want to say thank you so much to everybody who has watched the first video, left a comment, DM'd me. It's just been so validating to see that there are other people out there who could use this information and find this helpful. So like I said in the last video, I wanted to start diving into the difference between federal and state and local governments. But before I dive into that, make sure that you are registered to vote. Check that you are, and if you aren't, register. On to today's topic. What does state government look like? I'm probably just going to scratch the surface here because there is so much information, but of course. So let's start off with the word federalism. Federalism is a system of government under which the national government and local government or state government share powers. And the Constitution does talk about this in the Bill of Rights, and I'm going to read that verbatim. Amendment number 10. It says, the powers not delegated to the United States by the Constitution, nor prohibited by it to the states, are reserved to the states respectively or to the people. So basically what that means is there are certain powers that are strictly for the federal government, and then whatever's not laid out for the federal government is literally a free-for-all for the states. So this is how we get into those sticky situations where there are certain laws that are passed by state that aren't necessarily approved by federal or vice versa. The Constitution was laid out this way, we like to believe, on purpose for us to have these types of conversations and to have these types of challenges, again, to prevent any one group from dominating the entire nation, or one person dominating the entire nation or having too much power. After I learned a little bit about this, I started to gain clarity, or some clarity, on how it's possible for all of our states to be doing something different, or how it's possible for our states to come across issues with laws that they're passing that may contradict what the federal government wants. And so though there's still so much I have to dive into, that part was a little insightful. Okay, so let's just talk real quick about how our state government looks like, or its layout. Like I've said before, there is really nothing in our Constitution that shows any expectation of what the layout of the government is supposed to look like on the state level. But there is one thing mentioned in the Constitution, and that shows up in Article 4, Section 4, which is known as the Guarantee Clause. And I will also read that verbatim. Okay, Article 4, Section 4. The United States shall guarantee to every state in this union a republican form of government, and shall protect each of them against invasion and on application of the legislature or of the executive when the legislature cannot be convened against domestic violence. Wow, that sounds so much fun. But really the main thing that you want to focus on is the very first part of this, which is the United States shall guarantee to every state in this union a republic form of government. So this little section does place a little bit of a limitation on how or what type of government each state should have. AKA it mandates that people govern by elections. So great, awesome. But that still doesn't tell the states exactly what their government should look like or what layout they should have. So naturally, what the states ended up doing is they ended up mirroring what the federal government looks like. Pretty much all the states have a 3-branch structure. They have the legislative branch, they have an executive branch, and then they have a judicial branch, just like the federal government. Another interesting thing that I learned is that every state has its own constitution. And each state constitution is approved by Congress. And these state constitutions are no joke. They're so extra. So for example, our US Constitution has about 7,500 words and 27 amendments. Our California Constitution has almost 75,000 words and 500 plus amendments. Then there's Alabama, and I have no idea what's going on over there. But then their constitution, I'm gonna have to read this because this is wild. They have 389,000 words in their constitution and 900 plus amendments. Why? I have no clue. And maybe I will learn later why. But basically, these constitutions are very specific and just extra, okay? Okay, so going back to the 3-branch structure that the states have taken on. For all of the states but one, all of the states but Nebraska have a 2-chamber legislative branch just like the federal government. For California, we have a Senate and then we also have a state assembly. Then there's the executive branch, which is typically led by the governor, and then of course the judicial branch, which has all of the state courts and any inferior courts underneath that. And then just to touch a little bit on local government, basically nothing was said about local government in the Constitution. And so the way that they generally look, they typically are split up into different counties and then into different cities or municipalities. And then some states have special districts. And we just have another free-for-all situation here. But there are common structures that they do follow across the board. But specifically to California, because that's where I live, the state is divided up into 58 counties and 482 cities or municipalities. And the counties take on one of two types of government. There's general law and then there's chartered. And I happen to live in San Diego County, and that is a chartered form of government. General law basically means that they uphold state law, and then chartered means that they have like other fancy things that they can do. Again, I will have to dive into that into another episode because it gets real crazy, you know what I'm saying? Okay, I think I'm gonna stop it there because that's already so much information. Hopefully this topic was helpful. I 100% will be diving into local government in another episode. I really wanna look at all of the peoples that are in that form of government. How we vote for them, what they do. Yeah, so I'll dive into that later. Again, thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you like this one. Share it if you feel that it could help anybody else. And I'll see you on the next one. Bye. My lips are so dry.